All my traveling this week, I have now found myself in Lexington, Kentucky. Specifically at Lexington Cemetery, visiting a huge piece of my childhood. See, I was born in 1991. Watching these movies was a huge part of my childhood, and it brought a lot of joy to me. Today, I'm visiting the one and only, the legendary Jim Varney, aka Ernest P. Worrell. So James Varney is buried in section C1, lot Q, grave number 28. And here he is, Ernest P. Worrell himself. James Albert Varney Jr., June 15th, 1949 to February 10th, 2000. A bunch of fans have left mementos. There's a couple of slinky dogs from Toy Story. Somebody left a bottle of Mellow Yellow. If you remember from his commercials and Hey Vern, it's Ernest. He did a lot of commercials for areas, businesses in the area. The triple feature of Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Goes to Jail. Somebody even left a pair of pants back here. Varney, suffer the little children to come unto me, Mark 10:14. People have left pennies. Some beads. I can only assume for Auntie Neldy. The character of Ernest P. Worrell first debuted in 1980. And if you're from the Kentucky area, you will know his commercials he used to do for many different types of products. You had movies, Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Rides Again, Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Goes to Jail, Ernest Goes to Africa, Ernest in the Army. My personal favorite was Ernest Scared Stupid. Some of the funniest scenes I've ever seen are in that movie, where he's going between characters, explaining to Kenny. He's like, Ernest, I know what we need is a treehouse. I thought we needed a dress shield. His famous catchphrase, you know what I mean, has just become iconic and legendary. For anybody that grew up in the 80s and 90s, you definitely know Jim Varney or Ernest P. Worrell. Loved him in the Beverly Hillbillies as Jed Clampett. He absolutely killed the role. Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain. Not a lot of people liked the movie, but I did. He played a good villain in that one as Lothar. Contrary to popular belief, the dim-witted slapstick character that he played of Ernest P. Worrell, Jim Varney was actually a very intelligent man, and he was actually trained in Shakespearean acting. He was a very talented man, very talented actor. I've heard all around a nice guy. Sadly, he was a lifelong heavy smoker, and in 1998 he developed a heavy cough and discovered he had lung cancer. Reportedly, he when he got the report that he had lung cancer, he threw away his cigarettes like right away. But sadly, the damage was already done. And on February 10th, 2000, he passed away from lung cancer at the age of 50. He was taken way too early. He had too much to give us still. He had a lot to give us still. I can only imagine what else he would have offered us if he had lived. I guarantee you he would still be acting today. He would still be doing comedy stand-up. I guarantee you that Ernest's character would still be full force right now. I was 8 years old when I found out that he had died. I actually read it in the newspaper my grandma had sent me. It's still hard to believe that it's been 22 years since he's been gone. It feels like an eternity. But we truly find ourselves continuing to watch his videos and keeping his honor and legacy and memory alive. And like I said before, he was a huge part of my childhood. If you've ever watched the Ernest movies, you'll know how much of a beloved character he was. It's just so hard to believe that he's been gone this long and he could have given us so much more. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for all the great times, the movies, the memories. Wish you were still with us. Hope you're resting in peace. Know what I mean? Jim is actually buried right next to his parents over here. James Albert Varney Sr. and Louise Varney. 1910 to 1985, 1913 to 1994. I want to thank you for creating a legend in Jim. I knew you were very proud of his work. You guys are together again for eternity. Comedy legend right here. With that being said, Codeman's Travels, Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you.